Hello everyone, Storm 101 here. Today we'll be taking a look to chances for snow that'll be going on across the portions of the Rockies, the Northern Plains, maybe even possibly portions of the Central Plains, the Great Lakes, and some of the mountain ranges across New Hampshire, Vermont, and Maine as well. We'll be taking a look into that. We're going to take a look into the GFS, the Canadian, the Euro, also talk about the Climate Prediction Center's outlook here, and also as well as my forecast for the next 10 days for chances of snow. So let's go to get started with the GFS. So this is kind of what's going on right now. We got a pretty good low pressure system coming from British Columbia, bringing in quite a bit of snow across the mountains in British Columbia there, which is eventually it's going to come into portions of Washington, and then eventually into the Rockies in Idaho, Montana, to Wyoming. That's pretty much the first front right there. You can see here it brings a pretty good blast of cold air. Here comes another system here, and look what also develops here on Saturday. A nor'easter may try to develop across the New England states there, even potentially bringing some heavy snow across the mountains in portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine as well. So definitely gotta watch for that. Meanwhile, here comes another system here bringing a decent amount of snow across the Northern Plains and portions of the Rockies. That's going to be moving to the south here. They kind of split here. There's one low pressure system over here, and there's one by Oklahoma. Eventually, a big time trough will try to dig in here. That's 516. I mean, that's a pretty chilly air in the atmosphere there. It's also very chilly for this time of year as well. And here comes your cold front right here. Trying to mix in with snow as far south as Missouri, which is kind of nuts. That cold front kind of stalls out across really from the Tennessee Valley across the northeastern states there. And it kind of just sits there for a little bit till another system rides along that front. And then we're kind of getting far out here, and the uncertainties will be quite high around that point. But you kind of have the idea here that we'll be seeing decent chance for some snow across some of these regions. So let's kind of try to play this out here to the 10-day mark, just right here. So for the GFS here, you can see there's a possibility for some snow across the Northern Plains, portions of the Central Plains, which are some high uncertainties on that. Quite a bit of snow across some of the portions of the mountains in Vermont and Maine and even New Hampshire, with snowfall amounts up to 7 or 8 inches across a few of those regions. The purple colors, that's 4 to 6 inches of snow. The pink colors is really 6 to 9 inches of snow. Uh, your green colors, that's really getting into the 1 foot mark to about 2 feet of snow. So I mean, in the mountains there's gonna be quite a bit of snow in the mountains, but getting into the portions of the Central Plains and the Northern Plains as well, could still be some snow potential out there as well. And that's the GFS. Let's take a look into the Canadian here. You can see our front number one comes through there across a good chunk of the United States. Then you got a potential nor'easter that can ride along that front into the New England states. Here comes another front here bringing in quite a bit of snow with that clipper system across portions of Minnesota and Wisconsin. That brings in a pretty good troughing here. But doesn't really dig that far south, however. Although you can see there's a piece of energy right here. Try to bring some snow across portions about as far south as Kentucky there, which is quite interesting. Even into portions of West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and New York State as well. So snowflakes trying to mix in there. If we kind of continue on here, the uncertainties just really get pretty high from there. And just to kind of cut time a little bit, we'll just going to get into the snowfall maps from the European model. You can see here, quite a bit of snow could happen here across portions, Nebraska, showing snowfall amounts getting close to a foot. The mountains of Colorado looks like about 17 inches. Some portions of the mountains of Wyoming and Montana could be exceeding 2 feet there as well. But this is a decent amount of snow for this time of year across some of these regions here. I mean, a good chunk of Montana, pretty much the entire state of Montana, by the European model shows snow pretty much everywhere in the next 10 days. Some areas, you know, about as low as about 2 to 3 inches. Some areas just about as high as a foot. And then you get into the mountain ranges, that's about as high as 32 inches. They're getting close to the 3 feet mark there. And even trying to put out snow across portions of Nevada as well, which is quite interesting. You can also see here a decent amount of snow across portions of Wisconsin to Minnesota. Here's a hot spot across portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine with a potential nor'easter this weekend, bringing in snowfall amounts across really generally close to a foot. Some areas can exceed a foot as well in those mountain ranges there. So these amount of snow could be coming for some of these folks here, and a lot of these folks here can see their first snowfall of the season here, which is some people probably excited for that. And I forgot to show the snowfall maps from the Canadian model here. You can see here not as much as some of the other models, although you can see here trying to spit out some snow is about as far south as Kentucky, even to Missouri. You can see here snowfall amounts really from a coating to about 2 inches in a couple regions there. But you can see here where some of the best model agreement is, which is across, the mountains of Washington, Idaho, most of Montana, pretty much the entire state of Montana, I should say, entire state of North Dakota, portions of South Dakota, the mountains of Wyoming, and possibility for some snow across Nebraska. It's even trying to spit out snow across Kansas, which I have doubts on that, some doubts on it. I mean, I do have some doubts with this here, though, but the mountains may have a chance. I'll show you guys my forecast there, what I mean. Decent amount of snow for portions of Montana. Some places could see up to a foot. That's the same way for upper Michigan and northern Wisconsin. So some areas could see a decent amount of snow. Some areas just could see just a few snowflakes in general here. It's kind of the idea there. And let's take a look at the icon model here. Something I almost forgot to show. You can see our front number one kind of comes through there. Potential nor'easter rides along that front there. Another little pressure system that goes along by the Great Lakes starts to deepen. Could be a little winter storm there. Then you got a pretty good piece of energy starting to move to the southeast there. And look at this. Yeah, that could, if this verifies here, that could be a pretty good snowstorm across portions of Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, even portions of, well, yep, yeah, South Dakota, Nebraska, Upper Michigan. This can also bring a decent chance for some severe weather if the conditions are right. Across portions of Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, some of those regions there could see some severe weather if this verifies. But we'll watch that closely as well as we kind of get closer to the event. Total snowfall here, you can see here, pretty good swath of 5 to 7 inches, some areas up to a foot. And this only goes 180 hours out, does not go 10 hours, not 10 hours, 10 days out. You can also see there are some snow across the mountains, portions of New Hampshire, Vermont, and even portions of Maine. Even maybe a couple mountains in New York State as well may have see some snow as well. So that's the model side of things done. Let's take a look to the Climate Prediction Center's outlook here for temperatures here. You can see a pretty good chance for some below average temperatures across the Northern Plains, the Central Plains, the Rockies there, warmer than average along the East Coast, even across the South, and portions of California as well there. Here's the precipitation here. Dry across the northwest there, even extending down into portions of the desert southwest. Weather to normal conditions across pretty good 2/3 of the United States, really, generally. Really, Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, and just east in general here. Exceptions for some areas to the south there, but in general, really the plain states and east can see some above average precipitation. Exceptions for portions of the southeast there as well. Here's the 8 to 14 day outlook here. Pretty much the same scenario here for temperatures and precipitation. It's a little bit different here. It's more drier across the west. It's a little bit drier across portions of Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, and the Florida Panhandle. A little bit wetter than normal across portions of Montana, Wyoming, the Dakotas. Even the better chance for wetter than normal conditions will be across the Ohio Valley, portions of the Midwest, the Great Lakes, in the Northeast, and even the Mid-Atlantic as well. And overall, I do agree with their forecast, but obviously these forecasts could change some more. And here's the probability outlook here for the hazards here. And this is in 8 to 14 days. This light blue area here, that's a slight risk of much below average temperatures. The This blue color here, that's a moderate risk for much below average temperatures. And then you get into the dark blue here, that's a high risk for much below average temperatures there. If we kind of get into a different view here, this is a moderate risk and high risk kind of put into one here. You can see here in general kind of includes the Rocky Mountains in Idaho, includes the Dakotas, Montana, Minnesota, most of Iowa, most of Nebraska, good chunk of Wyoming, portions of Upper Michigan there, and a good 2/3 of Wisconsin as well. Can see the chance for some much below average temperatures. And this is valid the 21st to the 25th of October. So just to keep in mind of that. Last but not least, about chances for snow for the next 10 days here. So anybody in the dark blue, you guys got a likely chance of seeing some snow, which includes, the Rocky Mountains in Washington, portions of Oregon, the Rocky Mountains in Idaho, all of Montana, North Dakota, most of Minnesota, central and northern Wisconsin, a pretty good chunk of Michigan there, although I may have to change across central Michigan there to probably downgrade that area there for the chance. But even though if you guys in the chance region, you guys can still see a chance for some snow depending on how strong the trough will be there. Areas in the light blue, that you got just a chance for seeing some snow in the next 10 days. There's a couple areas here. You got one kind of surrounding the large likely region, which includes the Central Plains, portions of the Midwest. And then you got another area here across the Appalachian Mountains, across portions of southeastern Kentucky, western Virginia, and portions of West Virginia as well. Could see the chance, just a chance for some snow in those mountain ranges. I don't know why I cannot say that word. Then you got another area for a likely chance for seeing some snow. That's across portions of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, which is pretty much the same way for the chance region, although it does include portions of New York State as well. And expect this forecast here to change about every day. We're talking about the next 10 days here. So expect this to change. This is kind of viewing by model agreement. If models do agree pretty well where areas can see snow, like for example, entire state of Montana, which most models do agree on that. If some models show snow, some of them don't. Like for example, like Nebraska there as well. You remember what the Europeans show quite a bit of snow. Meanwhile, a couple other models show much less snow there. Those are areas for a chance. So just to kind of give you an idea here what I'm basing on here. And again, this will likely change about every day because we're just looking in the next 10 days there. But Anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys like this video, hit that like button if you really do like my channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell notification so you never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, you can put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.